Hey folks, Cornell with YouTube Fish and Viz. Check out that beautiful local lake. I should say local pond. Itty bitty little lake out here in the community on a midday, midweek fishing effort. Guys, there's no one here. School's in session, people are working, but I'm not working today. I've got maybe a little appointment later this evening, but check this out. I got two rods. I got a little pink trick worm and I got a little pink Roboworm, just a little drop shot. So a floating trick worm, drop shot. Guys, it's a no-brainer. It's the perfect time of year to do a little shoreline fishing. So that's what I'm going to do. I got maybe a couple hours to get out here and get my fishing fix. Let's see if we can get fixed on a few bass that are probably coming up here to spawn. There's probably a few spawners. There's probably a lot of pre-spawn bass here in Maryland, but I'm going to get at it and we're going to go pretty in pink today. So let's see what happens. Let's see if we can pull some fish up to the shoreline to show y'all. Nothing better than a little floating trick worm on these local lakes. Real subtle. I got a 7-foot medium. I've got 10-pound braid, actually 12-pound braid, and a little 8-pound test fluorocarbon leader, 4-aught little worm hook, and a Zoom pink trick worm. And there's fish everywhere right here. I see a little bass, probably about a pounder. I got bluegill everywhere. I know there's crappie all over this lake. Let's see how fast it gets eaten. Always put a little bend in my hook. Always put a little bend in my hook. There's always a bend in a hook, isn't there? There's a little bend in the bait that gives it a great action. Instead of straight up, little bend right there. That's going to give it a little underwater walk the dog action if you've never fished a floating worm. Great idea. A lot of different ways to do it. This is the way that gets a lot of action and a lot of bites. Starting here in the corner where there's some soon to be growing heavy, thick grass. So a lot of fish congregate over here in the shallows on a warming day. Probably barely 68 degrees to be about 74 degrees high temps. Gorgeous out here, absolutely beautiful. Pollen everywhere. That's why we got claret in there, right guys? Yep, there's our first fish of the day, guys. That didn't take very long. Threw it over here by the little culvert. The trick worm makes it happen. Awesome. Nothing huge, but gosh, nothing skinny. That's for sure. For a little bass, that's what we're dealing with. That's probably a perfect little specimen of a baby female right there, trying to lay some eggs somewhere here in a minute. But right in the nose, guys. That's the trick worm for you. They get them. Again, that's a real basic little 4-aught Gamakatsu worm hook, and it's been out here maybe about 5 minutes, and that's absolutely awesome because the pink trick worm got it done. And there he is, guys, way out there, never even moved it. That's a decent fish, guys. Real decent fish on a drop shot. I knew that trick worm would be fun, but man, this drop shot is always a no-brainer, especially with this calm weather. Look at this fish, guys. Nice one on the shoreline at a super pressured lake. This is great. Let me get this swing in. Jeez, that's not a surprise, but not bad at all for fish number 2. Man, that's a stud for the shoreline. Love it, love it, love it. Get in here. 6-pound test, guys. 6-pound test. A little drop shot special. Isn't that beautiful? You can see how much the weeds are coming up, but that's a chunky one right there. Isn't that beautiful? Drop shot right in the nose. Going back. All right, no doubt most of you that follow my channel have seen this beauty. 6-inch straight tail morning dawn Roboworm. That is a 1-aught light wire rebarb hook. That's a Gamakatsu, basically set up with a little keeper by Roboworm. And then this is always a great thing to show off. This is a Gremlin split shot bullet style weight, just clamped on. That's 1/8 of an ounce. I put a little knot in the bottom of it so it holds, and that's all it is on 6-pound test, guys. Best thing ever for everything everywhere, but definitely here on the shoreline on a day like today. Here's number 2 cast after that beauty. Let's see if there's another one out there. Just let it drop to the bottom, and that one ate it on the fall. I lifted up and it was there. There's more here, and there's definitely more to be caught on this drop shot, I promise you. Guys, got that one right off the bed. I saw that fish just sitting right on top of the bed, and it was that easy. Literally just one little toss, and there he is. Just a beautiful little buck bass just hanging out, waiting for Wait for a little love. Go back in there. Wait for her. I'm pretty sure I see a potential candidate here, so let me see what happens. Oh my gosh, that didn't take long. That was a good one. Yep, sure enough, there was one there, and they are aggressive on the beds today. Let me see if I can do that. That is a good one, guys. Man, that's number 4 today. Hey, look at that. Isn't that amazing for the shoreline? Again, right in the top of the nose. If you guys like to play shallow this time of year, don't hesitate to put on a drop shot and some light line. You'll bet them like that all day off those beds. All right, folks, if it looks like it's a little dimmer out here, it is. The sun is starting to go down a little bit. I took a little break, and look who I found. Austin's in the house. He's got a net in hand. He's got a blow pop, and we are all set to do a little evening fishing. So I wanted to get him. He's got off of school. The lake's a little more crowded. There's a few guys over here doing some fishing with the kids. It's absolutely a beautiful, beautiful evening. So let's pick up where I left off so we can pop a couple more bass. I put the trick worm away, and I got nothing but the drop shot. So we're gonna see if we can crank in a few of these fish on these little beds and anything else that wants to bite. So drop shot, going back in the water. Coolest thing ever about this lake is that there's so many critters running around. With this little net Austin's got, he already got himself a dragonfly. There's frogs everywhere. There's little baby turtles coming out of their shells. This place is absolutely lit with wildlife and little critters to enjoy. So there's a fish, Austin. You want to reel it in? Come on, man. I'm gonna let Austin reel in the first fish of the day. There we go, with first cast, and Austin's already on board. Man, you didn't even get a chance to get to the center of that blow pop and chew on that gum before we got a fish. Awesome. So I don't know, this is like number 4 of the day. Not a bad one. Pretty nice little fish, right? Bring it in here. Bring it in here. Bring it all the way up. Bring it all the way up. That's a chunky little guy. Sweet. We're already on board. Good night of fishing has already begun. Nothing like shoreline in the springtime. Yeah. Do you see all the bluegill in there? Oh, I got another one, Austin. It's a little one. I'll reel this one in. That's like 2 casts later, guys. I got another one. Too cool. Cranking them in. Let's see if it's a bass. There's so many bluegill and who knows what else in here. Yep, just another beautiful little bass. That's number 6 for the day, I think, something like that. I kind of lost count from earlier, but probably 4 earlier and then 2 already now. Cool. I mean, I just already whacking them, dude. In fact, right over here, it gets so shallow right there. And then I think it gets deep right away. That's why they hang out right here. So if I cast like right here, I think there's a drop off. There's got to be a drop off because I know how skinny that water is. Hear the train? Oh my gosh, Austin, that's a big one. Oh my gosh, Austin, you want to reel it? This is a good one, dude. Guys, this is like my 5th cast. Go for it, Austin. Catch that thing. That's a good one. Nice and steady. Get the rod tip up a little higher. It's probably going to jump. Look at this thing. Nice one, man. Nice fish. Keep it up high so it stays out of the weeds. It's gonna get a little weedy if you, yeah, it's cool. It's gonna be, it's a strong one, isn't it? Look at that thing. Big. Awesome fish. Yeah, it is. So cool, man. Don't pull up too high. Let's do that. It's not so crazy. That's awesome. Austin, he's decent, isn't he? Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man. You're still working on that Charms blow pop. Right in the nose, guys. 3rd fish in like 5 casts. Too cool. All right, the shade is upon us. The sun has dipped behind some trees. That's a good thing. Nothing like low light and a little bit of bass fishing. So, all right, back to that spot where Austin and I just started. We didn't cover much shoreline because we didn't have to. We were just kind of popping them right and left. Not a ton of fish, but let's see if we can find ourselves a sign out fish because it's getting a little late and it's time for dinner here in a minute. It's been awesome today. Absolutely great time on the shoreline. There he is, Austin. There's a sign out fish. You want to reel it in? You want me to reel it in? It's a decent one, guys. It's a decent one. Just a nice fish to end the night. Nothing like shoreline fishing in the springtime. Getting them like that. Nice chunky bass, folks. As always, I appreciate you joining me. As always, I appreciate you subscribing. Until we meet again, Austin, over and out.